He moved my property line. Have you ever pulled into your own driveway and realized your house looks smaller? I bought my place for the garden. It was a lush green buffer between me and Gary, the neighborhood self-appointed king. Gary was the type who measured his grass with a ruler and hated my hydrangeas. He called them messy. It started with accidental overspray from his weed killer. Then he started trimming branches that hung over the line, leaving my bushes looking like they had a bad haircut. I told him to stop. He just smirked and said, "I'm doing you a favor, kid." I went to the mountains for a 10-day hike to get away from his constant hovering. When I got back, my hydrangeas were gone. In their place stood a gleaming white vinyl fence anchored in concrete, sitting a full 3 feet inside my property line. Gary was on his porch holding a beer. Decided to fix the boundary, he called out. The old markers were off. My vision went blurry with rage, my pulse thumping in my ears like a drum. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely unlock my front door. But I didn't yell. I went inside, poured a glass of water, and called a licensed surveyor and a property lawyer. The surveyor came out on Tuesday. Gary tried to block his truck, screaming about trespassing. The surveyor just pointed at his GPS unit and kept walking. The orange paint went down, slicing right through Gary's new yard. My lawyer sent a certified letter. Remove the fence in 72 hours or we go to court. Gary ignored it. He actually laughed when he saw me. That was his last mistake. I called city code enforcement. Gary had not pulled a permit for work. Because the fence was on my land and unpermitted, the city issued a stop work order and a $500 daily fine. I watched from my window as Gary's smug face turned a ghostly shade of gray when the inspector handed him the paperwork. He had to pay a demolition crew to rip out the concrete footings. Then, a judge ordered him to pay me $5,000 for the destroyed landscaping and my legal fees. Now there is a new fence. It is exactly on the line and Gary is not allowed to touch it. He does not look at me anymore. He thought he could steal my dirt, but he ended up burying his own bank account instead. Karma is a property line you just do not cross. Have you ever had a property war with a neighbor? Tell me your story in the comments.